surely if I'm here, I'm a composer, which from my perspective simply means that I do things that have to do with sound in a way or another. But basically, yeah, I do things, and I think this defines pretty well my activity actually. But in general, I try not to take myself too seriously while I do this kind of things, because I need to keep the same approach I had when I was a kid. I was playing with my friends in my basement, like with my band. Otherwise, it all falls apart for me. But on the other hand, I'm a huge Beatles fan, so I guess it could be another way of defining myself that's equally valid. Because I'm really attached to this sentence by Sartre, like in the Nausea. There's this sentence that says something like, we build our memories with the present. Like we tend to like distort the past with our experiences today. So like I don't really know like what my first real encounter with art was, but like I guess like my relationship with it, like especially like talking about music, like when music is concerned, is kind of related to the instruments I had like in my home. Like I especially remember this like with this old Farfisa keyboard. It's an Italian brand of like synth and keyboard, and was really like you know, it was kind of a celebration of the 80s in a way. Like it was one of those keyboards with pre-recorded rhythms and facilitated chords, like that when you play one key, you can do like different harmonies and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I remember I used to play it when in my grandparents' house, and they were very disturbed about it. Like they were very bothered about it. They like just they would often tell me to stop and to, you know, stop that rocket coming from their living room. So they weren't really like into music at all, but or maybe I was really bad at it. I don't know, like but I think my father was the only one who has like an interest in music, and it kind of indulged me to, like, you know, when I asked him to learn to play piano or this kind of things. But I think also because he's like he's a craftsman. So like I remember like playing in my father's workshop. You know, I think it influenced me at least in like seeing art also like as a craft process, like the making of it, like the making with the hands, with your hands, and also like the physical but especially sentimental relationship we have. You have to like what is being created, like the thing you are doing, you actually doing. So I think yeah, this is I think I don't know if it counts like a first encounter of the art, but it was like yeah, a bit traumatic, because like nobody was interested in it. So it was kind of like, for like the majority of my family, like music is like just a bit more their noise. I think like they're not very interested about it. But yeah, so yeah, I started to play piano when I was I think 3 or 4, and then it just took off. Like then I started to play bass guitar with a band when I was little. And then I remember like when I encountered like classical music. I was interested in it maybe when I was 6 or 7. And I remember actually when I was maybe 8 or 9, I just started to write this kind of string quartet, like listening to the Mozart's one, and they were terrible, but like I think but when I was like 10, I realized I didn't want to play piano in my life. Like I wasn't interested in that situation, like of when you need to be like a virtuoso of the instrument. I didn't want to like perform in this kind of situation, and I just thought like I like to write these silly things, so just keep doing it. Like this is like one of the most asked question for a composer, and I always embarrassed like about my answer, because I'm not really like a process type of person. Like my creative process is often very chaotic, but I say this in a sense that the process for me like never precedes the piece. Like the process comes with the piece in a way. So in fact, like now that I think about it, like I don't think I ever written a piece with the same process as another one. Like because like I try to create a way of working that is somehow like functional or related to the piece I'm writing, but like it's not something I want to do like for a sort of conceptual point of view, but just I can't do in any different way. Like I lose immediately interest if I like force myself to like follow a process or a methodology. Like so I think this is kind of scary on one hand, because how can I say, like in the sense that every time I approach a new piece, I never have any like cornerstone or like a safety net, like something, I know what to do. So but like on the other end, like it's something that allows me to to have fun with it and to keep doing it, because otherwise I will I would like lose interest very quickly. But I think one of the things I always do is surely like have a contact with the sound, like with the instruments. I think it's incredibly important for me. Like I always need to touch the sound, whether it's electronics or a violin or a piano. Like I always need to to touch it. Yeah, I think this is my only the only thing I think is common to all my works, like in terms of process. I don't really wait for commissions, because that's because like it's kind of related to what I was saying before. Like when I have like something, like you have to write this thing for this instrumentation, for this like this theme or this kind of thing, like I always lose interest in the process, because I feel it's like some sort of equation, like the output in a way. So I try to avoid that. But that's but I'm not those kind of person that like wake up at a certain time every day, so on, because I'm very, very lazy. Like and also I can't like make a program of anything. Like I can't organize like my life in that in that form. But I think I do allow me to like came up with something, because I like maybe I just came to my studio, like I just, you know, play with some instrument or just play with some sounds, just and I try to like to see something in them, like maybe the sounds like tells me something, and maybe I get an idea from those sounds, and what I'm just but I just, you know, play with it. I just have fun. I don't think I have yet like found the tools to really avoid them, or but I certainly know I have some like some self-destructive patterns in my in my process, so I can manage them better in a way. Like I know that sometimes I take myself too seriously, for example, like because there is this, you know, this conception of the composer, which is some sort of intellectual and artistic reference, and sometimes you just you feel the pressure of it, that you just forgot that you need to have fun also, and to like to connect with your music instead of like thinking about what other people thinks about your music. And I think that really helps me is just playing with other people. Like I have this duo with Antonio Laspina, which is another composer, and we have this sort of you can call it a band. We call ourselves the Rocket Tens. Like we were speaking about Sarge, and I just like we just play things, even like Bob Dylan's song, or Beatles song. So this like sometimes helps me to like you know, go ahead. Because, first of all, like it's Venus Station, because it's a long story. It's a friend of mine, like he lives very close to like a broadcasting antenna in his town, and it broadcasts this Venus Station, which is a terrible radio station which broadcasts like terrible music. And for like an year of his life, everything in his house was controlled by this station. Like even the microwave, the television, everything was like broadcasting this this station, and like the interference between it was kind of scary also. And he yeah, so there was the idea for the title, which I think was like a very peculiar situation. The interference is something like it's an idea like it's kind of a recurrent idea for me, because the interference for me is something that allows you to like to connect different words. Like it's something that connects different dimension, but without explaining it. Like there's no, you know, a process or an explanation that allows you to connect things, but it's just you know, a revelation, something which is just suggest, and you like as a listener can make your own connection in a way. Like you have to like use your imagination. It's so I think yeah, it's something that very interests me, and also because like you don't really know what the output is. Like when you you know, you make something interference with another thing, like you don't know really the output, and you can also see in between. Like you can also like see the shadows of one thing to in another. I think also it's organic because it's I think there's some sort of humanity about it, because it's not predetermined and it's kind of fragile. It's weak and disturbed. Like you can I don't know, it kind of moves me in a way. I don't know why, but the relationship with Kafka is a more like a general relationship. I think like The Castle was one of the books that most influenced me, like my growth for a number of reasons. And I reread it like so many times. In this case, like one aspect in particular, which I found was extremely musical, was important for the genesis of the piece. I think in The Castle, one almost get the feeling that in the course of a dialogue, in the course of a scene, what is happening on the scene, on the stage, is almost irrelevant. Like, or at least is heavily subordinated to what is happening elsewhere, in this case, at the castle. This is sensation like kind of expands the potential narrative context out of all proportion, like because the reader quickly becomes accustomed, like through Kay's lens, to the idea that the novel and the story itself is only a slice. It's only a slice of a much larger and completely autonomous universe, like which is pre-existing and persistent to everything else. So so the space of the castle, in my perspective, of course, is not only a physical space, but it also remains a narrative space, which is paradoxically like not explored. This is one of the you know, fundamental points of Kafka poetics, like the conceal from view, like the not explaining. I think also like it's not coincidence. I think that in one of his rare publications during his lifetime, Kafka took great care to prevent the image of an insect from appearing on the cover of the Metamorphoses, like because of this you know, idea of concealing from view, like to just suggesting thing. This kind of opening is what I think I want to recreate or suggest on the stage. In fact, Venus Station is somehow like a radio station that broadcasts and will broadcast independently before and after the performance of the piece. Like we tuned it like casually and without even wanting it. Like and the signal is weak and disturbed and will probably interrupt shortly. But for this very reason, it captures at least my attention, like something you are witnessing, like a moment of life. Like it's not really a story, but it's like something more ephemeral. Actually, to write this piece, I started just from a fragment of a melody. I recorded like years ago with a synth, which is about like 20 seconds of melody. It's a very simple melody, but it got my attention so much because I don't know, it really sounded to me like a distant bagpipe voice, or a folk song, but crooked and drunk and kind of distorted. It sounded like, to me, like a pop song, that like a popular song that does not exist in a way. So yeah, and I thought, like, I had this fragment, and I thought I like to be it to be in a context in which sounded like of a revelation, like a moment of astonishment, and like a context that made us realize that we had come into contact with another reality. So I think that's also the thing, that you have this context that is kind of electronic, a kind of distorted, and this radio feeling. There's this lo-fi feeling, and you at a certain point listen to this kind of popular song in a distance, and it's pure. It's not distorted. It's not it's almost silly. It's almost how can you say, childish. Yeah, so I think this was from there the piece took off, and I worked like back and forth between the tape and the score to realize that this duo I was talking about, like with Antonio Laspina, like the central idea we had, it was like reversing the production process, working in the studio and producing the record before the concert, which is like often the case in the pop scene. But in contemporary classical music, the composer usually write a piece that is designed for a live performance, and only afterwards it's eventually recorded. But upstream, it is designed to be played live. So like our idea was therefore like this inversion of the production process, like and I think and we think this would also lead to a change in the role of the concert, and even in the relationship the musicians have with our music, like because it gives the performer more freedom, because like the performance is seen as some sort of cover, like very much in like in pop music. So in this piece, I try to do the opposite. But I try to imagine what my record would be, and I thought about this piece as a cover. I think the instrumental part is very important to me, but not only from a sonic point of view. Like I always I look for a hybridization of the two, of the sources, of the sound, etc. But it's not only about sound. It's also especially about energy, because like a sound produced by a musician on a stage, like when you like are bowing a note with a violin, for instance, it's as an energetic charge in terms of like listening tension. has the potential to interact with the tape, and it modifies our perception of it. So it's not just, you know, a fixed media tape, and they are just, you know, playing together with it, but it's like I try to allow, like I try to compose situation in which they can influence each other. So even if it's not, I'm not conceptual about it, it's really into the piece. In this piece, I think the most important thing about like the instrumental part is like the fragility. I'm really interested in the energy that created by a sound that it's like, you know, trying to be born in a way, like it's trying to come out like a voice which is not really there, but it's, you know, that tension, it's something only like a musical instrument and only player, only musician on the stage can transmit in a way. So without the instrumental part, there is no piece in a way. And also, I think this sense of fragility, it's to me kind of moving, because it has human qualities, like, and it allows me to establish a relationship with it. Like, I think this is the most important thing about it to me, is that, and this is something that is shared with other works of mine, you know, the rejection of virtuosity, like, which is not like a conceptual thing, but it's rather like I've always been fascinated by people who don't really know how to play their instruments, like by those who aren't really good, like I don't know, the Beatles. I'm a Beatles fan, but you know, you can't say that Lennon could play or sing in the most objective and academic sense of the word. Like, or one of my favorite records, for instance, is the Velvet Underground and Nico. And you can't say the Velvets could play. They were terrible. Like John Cale couldn't play viola or a bass guitar, or Brian Eno. Like, I love Brian Eno, his yearly album especially, and he was terrible as well. So in my opinion, there is a poetic and expressive force hidden in imperfection, in mistakes. And I think there is something real in human, in John Cale, for instance, or John Lennon, or Brian Eno, etc. And I really like to have that in my music. Like, I try to have that. So basically, I'm just somehow forcing a professional musician to play badly, to you know, forgot how to play their instrument and just play it a bit worse. About the hybridization, I always also try to you know, create these illusions about what is actually happening. Like, sometimes I even fake it, like some musician is almost pretending to play, or these sort of things. But I think they are important to the relationship between instrument and electronics. Like, in an ideal situation, I would like them to see some of the intimacy and the ridicule I see about it. Like, I'd like them to go home and want to play the same tune of the piano and say like, oh, I can do that too. Like it's just that simple. And I don't know, I would like that at the end of the piece, they don't think like how good these musicians are or how good the composer is or how good the piece is, but just that they can establish a relationship, something maybe intimate, almost stupid with it, like to be affected by the fragility of it, which is in the end what that's all I really care about when I listen to something. Like when I was saying, like took something that you can carry it with you, would made me very happy.